Bledsoe was arrested.
Patrick Montgomery was in court.
Jonathan Manapa will stay in federal custody.
No, I don't take responsibility at all.
Hey everyone, welcome to the show. So 44-year-old Texas resident Donald Hazard was a member of a group called the Patriot Boys of North Texas. The group, I believe, was founded by Hazard's friend. I've seen conflicting information. This was also his fellow convicted felon, Lucas Denny. And in the lead up to January 6th, Denny gathered weapons. He got other gear together. He recruited other people to join them in D.C. And he appointed Hazard as the sergeant of arms of the Patriot Boys group. Hazard was also encouraged by Denny to recruit other people. He also encouraged him to obtain weapons and protective gear for January 6th. And they discussed plans to get a helmet for Hazard. You know, all the stuff that you put together for a casual visit to the Capitol, a tourist visit, if you will. So Denny said that he picked up pepper spray for each of them, and he said that he would be getting a vest for Hazard as well. And on January 2nd, Hazard messaged another friend and asked, quote, "Want to go bust some heads with us?" And then Hazard told a friend that he was, quote, ready, and that he had a helmet, knuckle gloves, goggles, and body armor. And he added, quote, "Our militia group is called the Patriot Boys. We're directly affiliated with the Proud Boys, so we have literally thousands upon thousands of members backing us up." And in Facebook posts, Hazard wrote things like, quote, "So in Washington, D.C., BLM Plaza, our goal is to take several thousand militia guys down there and kick them out of their own plaza and take control of it." He also wrote, quote, "Uncle Joe, I'm heading out to D.C. tomorrow, and you can bet I'm gonna bust as many Antifa and BLM skulls as I possibly can for you." Also, quote, "The time to sit back and be peaceful is over. There's a civil war coming, and I, for one, will be on the front lines, taking as many of those sons of bitches as I possibly can." So on January 6th, Hazard wore all of his gear, including the helmet, with a Confederate flag on the side, because, of course. And as he walked to the Capitol, there was a media outlet filming him, and he told the reporter, quote, "Make sure you get my face and everything on your news channel. I want the enemy to know exactly who is coming after them." So Hazard was seen on the Capitol grounds after that. He was grabbing an officer and pulling him down a flight of stairs. Hazard was falling, and he kind of pulled him down with him. And then he was fighting with the officer as the two of them were falling. And the officer hit his head and he was knocked unconscious. So that officer had to be treated for a concussion. He also had to have multiple surgeries on his foot and on his arm, to injuries for his arm. And Hazard landed on top of another officer who also hit his head on the concrete. So as Hazard was wrestling with this second officer, the one that hit his head but didn't fall unconscious, other members of the mob were spraying chemicals at these police officers. And then sometime after that, Hazard and Denny moved to another area where officers were positioned behind a bike rack barricade. So Denny was seen punching at one of the officers' faces, and then the officers deployed chemical sprays at them. So at that point, Hazard and Denny retreated into the crowd for a bit, but then they came back just a short time later, and then Hazard raised up both of his middle fingers at the officers, and then he slapped his tactical vest with a patch on it of their militia group, and he yelled at them, quote, "We're patriots, motherfucker. Fuck you. You're bought out by China, you communist fuck. This is America." A short time later, Hazard and his friend advanced toward the police line again. They were each holding a can of pepper spray in the air, so it looked as if they were deploying the chemicals at them. Then Denny chucked his can at the police line. I don't know if it was empty at that point. But a while later, Hazard was seen on surveillance video. He illegally entered the Capitol. He briefly walked into the parliamentarian's office, but he and others were forced out after not too long, pretty quickly after he entered. And Hazard posted numerous videos on Facebook throughout the day. In one, he said in part, quote, "We're here at the nation's capital and we're storming it. We're taking the Capitol. Shit is real here. This is America, baby." In another video taken inside the building, Hazard said, quote, "We have stormed our nation's capital. We're in. Look at all these good patriots here. I've been maced. I've been beat up by cops. Shit's getting real here in DC." And then he continued to incriminate himself on social media in the days that followed. So he admitted things like, quote, "I had to fight several cops and didn't make it on my first attempt. I charged the cop and got in a fight with a lot of them. I got beat up and beat with their clubs and maced. But the second time I won." He also said, quote, "We took over the Capitol and had Democrat politicians hiding like the cowards they are." I'd like to point out his fellow Republicans were also hiding. But anyway, on January 14th of 2021, Hazard sent a private Facebook message to someone saying, quote, "I found out the worst I could be facing was a misdemeanor. Now I wish I hadn't erased my pics and videos." Hazard was wrong, though, because he was arrested on December 13th of 2021, and he was indicted on charges of conspiracy to obstruct an official proceeding, obstructing an official proceeding, civil disorder, 2 counts of assaulting officers, entering a restricted building or grounds, 2 counts of disorderly conduct, and 2 counts of physical violence. In February of 2023, Hazard pleaded guilty to 1 count of assaulting officers and inflicting bodily injury. So he was looking at up to 20 years in prison, 3 years of probation, and $250,000 in fines. However, the government requested 57 months in prison, 3 years of probation, and a restitution fee to be determined at a later date. And Hazard has a history of violence. The prosecutor said he's been arrested 6 times. 3 of those resulted in criminal convictions, and 2 out of those 3 were for assault. So U.S. District Judge Randolph Moss presided over Hazard's case. I couldn't locate any details about what he or Hazard may have said at the sentencing hearing, but the judge sentenced Hazard to 57 months in prison, 3 years of probation, and $2,000 in restitution. So one of the rare instances where the prosecutor gets what they've asked for. So good on Judge Moss. We need more of this. We need this like every single time, except when the prosecutor is weak. But this was a good outcome. This was a decent sentence, especially for someone being violent. So anyway, guys, if I hear any more, I will let you know. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please donate if you possibly can. Love you all. Take care, and I'll talk with you soon.